This is the TempusALL mechanical intervalometer. It's used for doing time-lapse with cameras that don't have a built-in electronic interval timer. You just turn it on. You can adjust the time for it to do it. Hit the button if you want a certain timing. And after a few seconds, it will start operating. There you go. Does that. In a few seconds, it'll do it again just like that. Now, comes with a Velcro strap that should allow it to hook to your camera and use the little arm to push the shutter release on your camera. Well, that should work for most cameras, but it doesn't for my camera. I happen to have a Leica M9. It's a beautiful camera, takes wonderful pictures, but it's all mechanical in terms of shutter operation. Push the shutter and away it goes. Got to turn it on first, of course. Push the shutter and we got it. Now, how would I hook the TempusALL up to this? Well, the front side of the Leica is nice and smooth, got a nice smooth surface. So let's see if the TempusALL will work there. Well, unfortunately, if you put it in that position on the front, you can never get the button to operate except by putting it way over here on the edge, and at that point there's no way to attach it. So let's try the back side. Well, and by the way, the Leica, my Leica anyway, has this thumb holder which is almost mandatory so that the Leica doesn't slip out of your hands. So we have that to work around. So if we put the TempusALL like so, we could put it there. But once again, because of that thumb hole, well, if I slip it over to the edge, the lever will line up with the shutter release. Unfortunately, the shutter release is not long enough as it is, or the little operating arm on the TempusALL. So I'd have to extend it out significantly, about that much. I'm not sure it would operate at that distance. The other problem is the TempusALL, when I put the strap around it, covers up the control wheel on the Leica, and I can barely touch the on-off switch on the TempusALL. So what am I going to do? I'm going to try to figure out some other way to use this. Now, the Leica is mechanical intervalometer on my Leica using a remote mechanical release. I remove the shutter button. And if I have a little screw-in remote control cable, screw it in. Now, I can use that to release the shutter. Now, all I have to do is to figure out how to fix this to the TempusALL so that the TempusALL will push that mechanical release. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, I made a little block of wood. It's about a 1/2 inch thick, 1 3/4 long by 1 1/4 high. Dimensions are not too important. Now I drilled a hole through this just large enough so that this mechanical release will slide down through it and come to rest like so. Now let's do the following. We remove the strap on the TempusALL like so. Now if we place this little block right about there. Line it up so that the little arm is lined up with the lever. Now, theoretically, if when the arm comes down, it'll push this, and if it's screwed into the Leica, it will operate the shutter. So let's try that. Okay, I added a couple of pieces of two-sided Scotch adhesive tape to the back of the little block of wood. Now let's see if we can mount the little block of wood properly. Want it like so. So we put the through there. Now we line up the plunger with the little lever arm. Get it the proper distance from the bottom, hopefully. Squeeze it all together. Seems to want to hold it securely. Let's try it in this position for a minute. Okay, we seem to be getting about the right amount of plunge, so let's hook it up to the camera and see how we did. Okay, we now have it hooked to the camera. Let's turn the camera on. Turn the TempusALL on. See if we can get it to go. Getting ready to plunge. There it goes. Got an exposure. Let's do a second exposure. Got a second exposure. Got a third exposure. Okay, we're off and running. I think that'll work. Now I can use my Leica for time-lapse photography and take advantage of the beautiful pictures that it takes. I'll probably just let that either hang down or possibly could mount somewhere, but that's a tale for another day. For now, I think I've solved what I wanted to solve.